Many Christians have given up believing in miracles. For them, the age of miracles belonged to the early church, when awe-inspiring events like Moses parting the Red Sea, the virgin birth, and Jesus rising from the dead confirmed the authenticity and divine nature of God and Jesus. Just because we don't see phenomena of biblical proportion occurring today does not mean that God has left the business of miracles. From second chances at life to scientifically unexplained mysteries, these real-life stories are powerful reminders that God is at work in modern times and that we must never give up hope and faith. I am showing you 7 miracles examples that science can't explain. A mysterious boy led rescuers to find child who survived for 14 hours in submerged car. March 2015, Lion Jennifer Grosbeck, 25, lost control of her car and landed in the icy Spanish Fork River in Utah. 15 hours later, first responder found her 18-month-old daughter, Lily, in her car seat hanging upside down just above Fridge River water. After finding Lily, both police officers and firefighters report that they heard an adult voice yell, "Help me," from inside the car. Discovered that the voice could not have come from the young mother, who likely died from the impact. Rescuers still can't explain the voice or how the girl survived hanging upside down for 14 hours in freezing temperatures without being dressed for the cold. A woman who came back to life after having no pulse from 45 minutes. Opera Casimiro, 14, fell unconscious for a rare amniotic fluid embolism during a cesarean section in September 2014 at the Boca Raton Regional Hospital in Florida. Doctors tried to revive Opera Casimiro for 3 hours. After 45 minutes without a pulse, doctors decided to invite her family into the operating room to say their last goodbyes. Doctors are calling a miracle occurred. Her heart began beating on its own. Opera Casimiro has revealed that during the experience she felt herself floating along a tunnel and seeing spiritual beings, including her father, surrounded in light. What's even more incredible is that Opera Casimiro suffered no brain damage and made a full recovery. Her baby girl is also healthy and happy. A boy who fell into an icy stream was resuscitated after nearly 2 hours of CPR. Martin, 22 months old, was playing with his siblings outside his parents' home in Mifflinburg, PA in March 2015 when he fell into a gushing creek with 34-degree water. He was found a quarter of a mile away by a neighbor, unconscious and without a pulse. Emergency personnel were called to the scene and immediately began performing CPR, which continued uninterrupted for 101 minutes as they transported him via an ambulance and a helicopter to a hospital. Body's temperature upon arrival 77 degrees, well below the normal temperature of 98.6 degrees. After doctors gradually warmed the boy over 24 hours, he remarkably woke up without any apparent signs of neurological damage. The power of community prayer sparked a healing miracle that doctors can't explain. The end of Grayson Kirby seemed inevitable when he was thrown from a demolition derby car at the Mid-Atlantic Power Festival in Ruckersville, VA in June 2014. The accident left him in a coma. His lungs were crushed and nearly every other bone in his body was broken. His brain also suffered multiple strokes and hemorrhages, and his kidneys were failing. If he did wake up, he could likely, to put it bluntly, be a vegetable. But his family refused to give up and turned to prayer. Thousands of people in the community and beyond kept Kirby in their thoughts and prayers and wore red shirts designed to show support for the injured man. In a final attempt to revive Kirby, doctors hooked him up to a machine typically used for transplant patients, not trauma patients. Whether it was due to a divine intervention or medical intervention, or both, it worked. 10 days after the accident, Kirby opened his eyes and mouthed the words, "I love you," to his father. The doctor could not believe it, and neither could Kirby. "I'm humble, I'm grateful, just a must," Kirby said. "I know that God saved me. I know that prayer and believing saved me." 5. Vatican confirms scholar the boy was healed by nun from the beyond the grave. The Roman Catholic Church has a rigid, formalized vetting process when evaluating miracles, which are defined as divine events that have no natural or scientific explanation. Investigating a single miracle could take years. After a 14-year process, the Vatican released its verdict on a young boy's sudden recovery from a developed gastrointestinal condition. It was a miracle. Doctors tried everything, antibiotics, diets, and tests, but it seems nothing could stop 4-year-old Luke Berge from literally wasting away in 1998. The 8 to 10 violent bouts of diarrhea is experienced every day for 6 months forced him to drop out of preschool. After doctors began to suspect cancer, the boy's mother, a devout Catholic, began looking outside of medicine for cure. She asked the nuns to pray for Luke. Sister Margaret Mary Prester and the late Sister Evangeline Spener knew what to do. They asked the founder of their order, Mother Teresa Bonzel, a German nun who lived 100 years, to intervene. The nuns prayed a novena and 9-day vigil asking Bonzel to heal Luke. As soon as their novena was complete, Luke woke up and his stomach no longer hurt him. The illness never returned. I knew immediately that it was miracle, Mother Jane Vergis said. 6. God shows man the power of marriage during life-threatening hold-up. We have all heard that married people live longer, but for one man, marriage literally saved his life. Donny Register was working the cash register at his store located in the Antique Market in Jackson, Miss, when 2 men walked in and held him at gunpoint and demanded money. A shot was fired at Register's head as he threw up his hands. Remarkably, his wedding ring deflected the bullet. Pieces of the bullet lodged into his neck and fingers, but none of his injuries were fatal. Register, who has been married for 38 years, does not chalk it up to luck. He believes his marriage saved his life. I knew being married was a good thing, he said. I just did not know it was that good. His wife gives God all the credit and says that story is a good reminder that men should always wear their wedding rings. 7. Pope Francis performs a rare blood miracle. Pope Francis is often called the Pope of Surprises. Could he also be the Pope of Miracles? Saint Gennaro was martyred in AD 305. Today Gennaro serves as Naples' patron saint. During the 3 feast days for Saint Gennaro, celebrated each year, it is believed that enough prayer can liquefy a vial containing the direct blood. This was the first time the blood has been liquefied by a Pope since Francis was given the vial. When the Pope kissed the vial, the blood half liquefied. The Cardinal called the scientifically inexplicable liquefaction a miracle. These stories are powerful reminders that nothing is impossible when it comes to God. Miracles happen when you believe in God. Your faith can move mountains.